Yo, what is good YouTube? Manny Dubs here, back with another video, guys. And we have some more breaking news, notes, highlights, observations from another day here in Pittsburgh for Steelers training camp. Very short practice today, not too much to talk about, but I do want to go over 10 players who have stood out over week 2 of training camp. So strictly week 2 standouts. So make sure you guys stick around to the end of this video. Like I said, it's going to be a short one, a quick little update for you guys. However, before we jump in, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will be covering the entirety of the offseason, which includes free agency, training camp, preseason, regular season, everything you could think of. I've got you guys covered, so make sure you guys join the family if you haven't already done so. But without any further ado, let's get into this video. Now, one guy that's been very interesting to me is Kendrick Green. He's offensive lineman, but he's also getting some fullback reps as well. So a guy who has been definitely working his way up the depth chart over the past week or so. So I just wanted, that was a quick one. Now going into the next guy here, Chandon Sullivan, a guy who they signed actually in the middle of the draft, a slot cornerback, a nickel guy who has actually had a very good week 2. Week 1 he was very quiet. Honestly, I haven't heard anything about him during week 1, but week 2 he definitely stood out, had a number of pass breakups, had a game-sealing SWAT or in practice anyway, in a 2-minute drill. He also had a he rushed off the edge at the 4-yard line, came in untouched for what would have been a QB sack. So that was nice. So Chandon Sullivan has looked really good as well. And then you have Elijah Riley, another slot corner who is looking really good at camp as well. So those guys are probably in the lead right now for the slot cornerback position. But they also have Patrick Peterson getting some reps there as well. So I don't really know what's going on, who's going to be the starting slot corner. So let me know in the comment section down below, who do you have being the starting slot come day 1? But like I said, Patrick Peterson has been moved in and out of different positions. He's been another guy who looked really good during week 2. It doesn't seem like he's 33 years old, man. The expectations are still high for Patrick Peterson because last season was one of his best seasons in a long time. So I think he can continue to do that going into next season. And then you have a guy in Calvin Austin who is not really playing with the first team right now. He's primarily getting most of his reps with the second team, but he has been amazing with them so far. Whenever he gets a chance to go out there and make a play, he does. And it's a good thing to see because over the first 2-3 days of practice, he looked very, very rusty, and that's to be expected. He missed all of last season, so we expected him to be a little rusty coming off that injury, but he has looked a lot better throughout training camp. Week 1 was very scary for him. Week 2 was amazing. I think he beat Joey Porter Jr. He's beaten Elijah Riley, Chandon Sullivan, Trey Norwood. So he's beating a lot of these top guys at cornerback right now. So that is definitely something to know. We all know about George Pickens. Don't really want to talk about him too much because the dude is a dog, and we know he's a dog. Most of the catches in this video are him. So George Pickens has continued to be incredible throughout training camp. You got Dan Chisnia. Don't know if I said that right, but he's looked pretty good as well. Cody White's looked pretty good. Steelers have a bunch of wide receivers right now looking really good throughout training camp. Also, Hakeem Butler has moved his way up the depth chart, a guy who was not a lock even close to make the roster coming into training camp, and now he's looked at like he might be locked into this roster come the start of the regular season. So that is definitely I took note of. Quan Alexander came into the team up and running. I mean, he is looking good right away. Took no time to get acclimated. He was acclimated right away with the playbook, with everything. I mean, I've never seen anything like him. The man came in and right away was good. So that was something I took note of. And then maybe lastly here, Isaiah Loudermilk, a defensive tackle, has been relatively good for them. A guy who's not going to be a day 1 starter probably by any means, but he's looked good behind guys like Cameron Haywood. Montravius Adams, the former Auburn defensive tackle, has looked good as well. And he might be the starting nose tackle come week 1. But they also have Keanu Benton, who's working his way into a big role with this team. I'm guessing over the next couple weeks he'll make a jump up. So, and then one more guy, actually, Luke Barku, a guy they signed out of, I believe, the XFL or the UCFL, one of those 2 leagues. He signed from there, and he's actually been doing pretty good in week 2. So, a lot of guys breaking out in week 2. Let me know what you guys think about some of these roster battles that the Steelers have right now. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications so you're notified every time we post a video, every time we go live for a game, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. This video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. And if you love playing fantasy sports like football, basketball, baseball, and so many other sports, but also love being able to win money, you're going to want to stick around for this whole segment. Introducing Underdog Fantasy, the ultimate platform for fantasy sports lovers. Do you want to experience the thrill of drafting your team and competing for huge prizes? Well, look no further. With Underdog Fantasy, you get access to a wide range of fantasy sports, including football, basketball, baseball, and so much more. But here's what makes Underdog Fantasy stand out from all of those other apps. They've got quick and user-friendly drafting process, a unique and exciting game formats, fair and competitive contests for all skill levels, and attractive bonuses and promotions. Not only can you draft teams and compete with others, but you can also play a game of higher and lower, which is personally my favorite thing to do on there, but you can potentially win 20 times the money you put down. And if you use code MattyDubs when you sign up, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. And what that means is basically when you deposit, let's say $100, they'll give you a free $100 to use and play with. Click the link in the description to get started, or head to the website right now to start dominating the fantasy world. And don't miss out on all the fun. Be a part of the Underdog community starting now. And don't forget, if you use code MattyDubs, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Let's get started. Get into drafts with me starting today.